747, we're glad you're listening this morning. Joining us right now is Mark Krikorian. He's with the Center for Immigration Studies. Mark, welcome back to Houston's Morning News, sir.
Glad to be here.
All right, so we've got the honor system on the border now. They want unmanned border crossings. Is this something?
They're going to just try one at Big Bend, figuring that there's not that many people. And, that one thing as an experiment may work. My fear is that, if that doesn't cause too many problems, they're going to say, hey, this is great, let's try it everywhere else. That's the danger, is kind of the slippery slope thing. And, I don't know, we'll see what they do.
All right. Now, Mark, when we talk about, sliding a identification card through, I mean, what kind of identification are we talking about as you understand it? Are we talking about a passport, a driver's license? How's this going to work?
It would probably be a border crossing card for most people. They call it a laser visa, is the colloquial term. That is something that people who live in Mexico near the border, are allowed to apply for. It's a kind of visa. It lets them come into the country for relatively short periods of time in the border region. You go and have dinner with your grandma, or you go to Walmart and then go home, that kind of thing. That's the point. And so I expect that's what it's going to be constructed for. But the town, it's not even a town, it's a village on the other side of the crossing in Mexico, only has like 80 people in it or something like that. I mean, I don't really see it in our interest to make that place more viable, so more people move there, then we're going to have more problems at that. And now we don't have anybody manning the border crossing. I don't know. I just think it's probably a mistake, but it's not like this one instance is going to open the floodgates. The problem is, if it works, then they're going to want to try it elsewhere.
Mark Krikorian joining us here from the Center for Immigration Studies. Mark, have you got a couple minutes? Hang on for me here real quick. I want to ask you what the dangers might be from the cartels if they get some of these laser visas, and is that something we're thinking about? We'll get an answer to that question coming up in just seconds. 7:53 is the KTRH News Time. Mark Krikorian from the Center for Immigration Studies joining us. Holders in Texas, Mark. I just thought I'd mention that to you.
Yeah, well, watch out. You might sue you guys, too.
Hey, let me ask you this question. The unmanned border, we've been talking about that. Is there any fear that you have that cartels could get some of these laser visas and just start walking drugs across the border like nobody's business?
I'm sure they're doing it right now as we speak. Because there are something like 9 million of these border crossing cards, these laser visas, that are, out there and being used. 9 million, that's the majority of the adult population of all the border states of northern Mexico have these cards. And so those are the legitimate holders. On top of that, there are brokers in border towns, in Juarez and Laredo, Matamoros, whatever,
wow,
that buy cards from people. And the people then go to our consulate and say, hey, I lost my card, can I get another one? These brokers have binders full of sorted by sex and age and facial hair and all of that. You come in, they say, let me flip through the book. You kind of look like this guy. They rent it to you. You use it to cross and then give it back to the guy who works for the broker that came with you, and then you're in the country. So I have no doubt that regular illegal aliens as well as cartels are using these laser visas on a daily basis.
Unbelievable stuff. Mark, I appreciate your time, as always. Mark Krikorian, the Center for Immigration Studies. Look forward to having you back, Mark.
Great to be here. Thanks.
All right, and we will certainly keep our eye on that story for you this morning moving forward, the story of the unmanned border along the border of Texas and Mexico.